Olam Chesed. I can play Olam Chesed Yivane, actually.
Really?
No.
Here.
I can play, what's the other song?
Hine Mato.
No, Yivdu.
Oh.
Yivdu Cheta Simba Simcha Yivdu. All right, we're starting. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're so honored, delighted, thrilled, elated to be here together. That's amazing. You're here. Shabbat Shalom. So great to have you here. We are delighted to invite our colleague, Scott Goldberg, who is a rabbinic intern here in his second year. And he works on so many things, from our mindfulness initiatives to our caring community, to bringing comfort and healing to those that are grieving, to teaching ninth graders, to just being an amazing human, which is something to celebrate. So I'm excited to invite Scott over to co-lead with Cantor Cates to open us up.
Shabbat Shalom. I love Shabbat. It's actually one of my favorite days of the week, one of the top 7. That was a joke, so you can laugh at that. I want to welcome everyone here, whether you're here in person with us or whether you're watching via live stream. We're really grateful that you're here. And our first song is Olam Chesed Yibaneh, which Olam Chesed Yibaneh means the world that we want to build.
Yes. We're going to build it with love. We're going to build it with peace. We're going to build it all together. Try it with us. Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
For this week's Parsha Vayera, we encounter right at the beginning Abraham and Sarah being visited by some guests, and they learn that Sarah is going to bear a son. And her first response overhearing this is just to laugh. She can't believe it. She chuckles. And part of that is she is 90 years old. And she has yearned for so long. And she literally, the rabbis say, is this body really going to produce a child? And we learn later that God says, yeah, I heard you laugh. God kind of calls her out on it. And then God says, call this child Yitzhak, which is what she does. She titzak. And before that, Abraham, the Yitzhak, he laughs. It's the same word. To laugh is what's Yitzhak's name, or Isaac in English. And there's something so beautiful about taking this moment of laughter, of doubt, which I think we all move through the world with so much doubt. And often just like not believing in many different things, like can things get better with the environment, right? Can I feel a sense of healing where my heart is broken? And God takes that and transforms it into this life, this new, beautiful life that brings her such joy. And so that laughter turns into a joy of laughter. And so this Shabbat, my blessing for everyone is that is one of transformation, where we can take something that's maybe a little bit rough and smooth it out a little bit and be a place from which we can draw strength. We join together on page 13 for Shir Hadash.
344. Page 344. We are ready now. We're warmed up a little, but we really have to warm up a little bit more with Lecha Dodi. We welcome in the Shabbos bride in all of her glory and beauty as we bring in Shabbat with these words on page 20 and 21. Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela Lecha Dodi likrat kalai yalalai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad Ishmianu el hamiuchad Adonai echad Shmo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litila En lecha dodi likrat kalai Yadalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela Verse 2 Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki mekor habracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof maaseh v'machshava tchila Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela Lecha dodi likrat kalai Yalalai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela Top of 20 21. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech umiori, ori, ori, shirtaveri, kevod Adonai alai, iknilai, lecha dodi likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekavela, lecha dodi likrat kalai, yalalai, 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 pnei Shabbat, nekavela. Wherever you are, we stand. We face the entrance of the room, the door, wherever we came in from, and we welcome Shabbat in all of its glory. Boi veshalom ateret bala gam besimcha usola toch emunei am segula boi chala boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekavela lecha dodi likrat kala yalala 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 pnei Shabbat nekavela yalla la 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 la. And we turn to page 28 and we stay standing because we are now warmed up and ready for the words of the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Let's hear you now. Yalalai, lalai. 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 Yalalai, lalai.
On the bottom of page 31. I know that the tide is not an independent force, but merely the submission of the water to the movement of the moon in its orbit. And this orbit in its turn is subject to other orbits which are far mightier than it. And so the whole universe is held fast in the clinging grip of strong hands. The forces of earth and sun, planets and comets and galaxies, blindly erupting, forces ceaselessly stirring in ripples of silence to very depth of black space. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue in the middle of page 33, reading together. wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha v'chol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, vedibartam baham, veshivtecha bebetecha, uvelechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha. Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Meretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Amen. Today, for lunch, I know it seems like I meet up with people a lot to eat, but that's because I do. And I went to the Skirball today for lunch with 3 members who collectively have over 270 years of wisdom. And they have been beloved friends for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades. And their fathers fought in World War I, and their husbands fought in World War II in the Korean War. And they know each other's siblings, like they're those type of friends. And so I got to sit there and watch them and think, like, what would it be like to journey through this world, through the wilderness with people like that by your side? And we're preparing now for the Michamocha. This is our song of liberation where we're out of Egypt, but it's actually the beginning of that journey. It's that beginning of the journey to the promised land. And so as we prepare for Michamocha, I want to just invite you to think about those people that have been with you, who have been on the journey with you, who know the names of your siblings, and who carry you a bit when you are struggling to put one foot after another. We join together for the Michamocha on page 40.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 kamocha, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha be'edar b'kodesh, Torah tehila no sefele, Torah tehila no sefele. Malchutecha rehuvanecha, v'kelayam lifnei Moshe, Zelianu ve'amru, Zelianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yael la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Shabbat is one day of the week where we can just breathe, we can relax, we can take time off from whatever we do during the normal week and have it be for our own. Our next prayer is Hashkivenu, which is our nightly offering to think about where shelter plays a role in our lives. And so in our own shelters, it might be an opportunity to take a moment for us to consider what it's like to be under shelter. Where does shelter play a role in your life? Is it nature? Is it curling up in bed with a good book? Is it having a conversation with someone you haven't had in a while? Hashkivenu, I want to bless us all with ample opportunities for relaxing in whatever shelter is meaningful for you on this Shabbat. Hashkivenu will be found on our handout.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. One big amen. 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 One more time. Amen. Amen. Amen.
The Amidah, our standing prayer, can be found on page 164.
Oh God, as I stand before you, I ask for strength and for courage changed as I take time to
46.
look at myself. May I open my lips in prayer. Let's have you stand. Adonai svatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo ve'ava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata, Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach, Umorid hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofe cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar. Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata lachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim bechol yom, Yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We take just a few minutes in our own private prayers, our silent prayers, our meditations of the heart. We come back together as a community for a prayer for peace, peace within our world, peace in our environment, peace in our hearts, and peace around us, all around us. So we say these words on page 60, Ose Shalom, I believe it's 60. Yes. No. It might be 62. It's on page 62. I should know that by now. So we say these words, Ose Shalom Bimromav, Huya Se Shalom Aleinu Vel Kol Yisrael Vel Kol Yoshvei Tevel, though I don't think it's in this composition. But may the one who makes peace in the heavens around us bring peace down on this earth. Ose Shalom Bimromav, Huya Se Shalom Aleinu. Ose Shalom Bimromav, Huya Se Shalom Aleinu. Ose Shalom Bimromav, Huya Se Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Ose Shalom B'Romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. That's it. Ose Shalom B'Romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ose Shalom B'Romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
Years ago, my friend Alex and I were sipping coffee at the breakfast table at her home in the suburbs of Boston. She was chatting all about the accomplishments of a certain technology entrepreneur. Wealth, family life, fitness. I mean, this person had it all. And I'll never forget what happened next. Alex said, "I want that life." And then her mom actually intervened and said, "Well, I know you want that life, but it's hard to know that you actually want that life because you don't really know their entire life." We're in the heart of Breshit, the book of Genesis. It's possible that this entire book could be read as a tale of people never truly knowing one another's lives. Not too long ago, God called Abraham to Lech Lecha, to go forth on his journey toward the holy land of Canaan. There, God makes a covenant with Abraham, promising that his descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the sky. Along the way, we learn today that Sarah experiences infertility, and she tells Abraham to take her Egyptian handmaiden, Hagar, as a second wife. Through Hagar, Abraham becomes a father to Ishmael. And years later, in old age, we also learn that Abraham and Sarah are gifted with the birth of their son, Isaac. So here we are. We're getting to know this pretty complex family. We have Abraham, Sarah, Hagar, which is Abraham's second wife and Sarah's Egyptian handmaiden, Ishmael, the son of Abe and Hagar, and Isaac, the son of Abe and Sarah. For this stuff, you might need a PhD in genealogy. It's really hard for these characters to truly get to know one another in such a short amount of time. One day, Sarah can't stand it anymore. Her son Isaac is second in birth order to his own half-brother Ishmael. And so what does Sarah do? Sarah cuts them off. Sarah drives out Hagar and Ishmael into the wilderness. This teenage boy is weeping, left without food and water, and her mother watches from afar. God calls out to Hagar, "What troubles you?" when Hagar is crying. "Do not fear, for God has heard the cry of the boy, Ba'asher hu sham." God has heard the cry of the boy where he is. That phrase, Ba'asher hu sham, is peculiar. Ishmael's cry was heard where he is. What does that even mean? The ancient rabbis teach in a midrash that Ishmael should not be judged according to the actions that he's doing in the future. Rather, he should be judged according to the actions that he's doing now. So God asks all of God's angels, what is Ishmael right now? Is Ishmael righteous? Or is Ishmael wicked? The angels reply, Ishmael's righteous. Ishmael's righteous. And so God said, well, let's judge Ishmael according to what's going on with him in the present. I'm going to judge him now. Ishmael is righteous. Here, the rabbis argue that the ways in which people act, both now and in the future, are present to God. So much so that God can judge them. God can judge us depending on what our actions are now and what our actions are in the future. That's what the rabbis are saying. And I think in some respects, not only does God judge human behaviors, I also think we judge human behaviors too. It's human nature for us to judge others. I mean, think about an interview at work or going on a first date. Judging can range from mundane thoughts, such as, what an interesting pair of shoes that person has, to the more judgmental, like, this person is always late. Or, did you hear who they voted for? Or, I just can't trust them. They always give me excuses. Now, I know that I can't ever truly know a person because, like my friend Alex's mom, it's really hard to get to know someone else's life because I don't really know their entire life. I do know, however, that every human being is rich with qualities and beliefs and personal experiences that are really special. Their entire life is totally and completely other from those around them. Only unless I manage to learn and embody their entire life, I can't and I shouldn't covet or judge or envy another person because I don't know their entire life. However, it may be the case that the more accepting I am of myself, the more accepting I can be of others. The more I take care of my own mind and my own body, the more I can become accepting of other people's minds and bodies. The more I forgive myself, the more I can forgive others. As we move throughout our weekend, I pray, may we consider that who we are in this present moment, not in the future, in this present moment, is enough and is holy. May we become more aware of the ways in which we judge ourselves and others. And may we emulate God by opening our hearts to truly knowing ourselves and our community around us. Shabbat Shalom.
Yasher Koach. Beautiful Torah. Thank you, Scott. I'm just left with that image of like an open heart and like what would our world be like if we could actually move through it as a community, as a country, as a world, just even a little bit more open. So thank you for that, Scott. As our hearts are open to this beautiful Torah and with the energy and power of the Torah before us, we shift our attention to those in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. So if there is somebody that you are thinking of, invite you to raise your hands so that I can ask you to speak their name aloud so we can hold them as well. And if you are watching online, invite you to go first and to speak the name aloud. Rini Perlmutter. We join together for the Misha Berach on page 253.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Havracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives
a blessing, and let us say,
Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu
Mekor habracha.
Avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Invite you to rise for the Aleinu on the bottom of page 282.
Alenu leshabech ladon hakol, latet gerula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor alenu kechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar ve'Adonai lemelech hakol haaretz bayom hahu. Bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, u'shemo echad, u'shemo echad.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night These are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. As we recite Kaddish this evening, we especially remember Sarah Berliner, Jacob Berman, Murray Heller Blumenfeld, Mildred Breckstone, Harriet Fay Cohn, Paul Ewell, Herda Ewell, Barbara Buckbee Hebron, Max Himovitz, Norma Fink Hoffaker, Annette Karp, Hannah Katz, Sylvia E. Levin, Daniel Harmon Maccabee, Stanley Martin, Miriam Prussin, Michael Radford Sr., Warren Rose, Estelle Rosenthal, Eleanor Segan, Benjamin B. Smith, Beatrice Stalk, Sybil Stoller, Thomas B. Windholes, Helen Zarin, Milton Zarin. If there are others who you are thinking of who are on your heart, I invite you to rise so you can speak their name aloud. We join together for the Kadisha Tome on page 294. Please rise. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam omei almaya. Yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit taleh v'yit talal shmei dekudesha barichu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May all of those that we remember bring sweetness to our hearts and strength to our lives.
And we finish with those words that we just said, Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Please join with me. Oseh Shalom Bimromav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for Morning Minyan, 9:30, if you would like, online. And just to wish you a sweet, nourishing, and open-hearted Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.